For the past 2 years, Jocko Fuel has been the only supplement I've consumed. It's helped me stay in shape now that my competitive career is finished. If you've been waiting to try Jocko, the wait is over. Jocko has now teamed with Walmart, bringing clean fuel to the entire nation. Jocko Fuel is loaded with all the good stuff and none of the bad. And I'm talking no added sugars, no artificial sweeteners, and absolutely no gray area or banned substances. Just pure, clean fuel to power your performances. Jocko Fuel is now available in Walmart nationwide. Products available at your local Walmart are Jocko Malt, ready to drink, Jocko Malt powder, and Jocko pre-workout. How convenient. Guys, the time is now. Consider trying some of my favorites like Jocko Go and Jocko Hydrate. You can even do it online. Use code CHAEL30 at JockoFuel.com or just stop by your local Walmart and get your hands on some Jocko ASAP. Don't wait, might not last. Fuel up with Jocko Fuel and crush your goals. Now there's no excuse for not having clean fuel. Guys, I want you to go get Jocko Fuel today at Walmart. All right, so Colby just went to war with Buckley. And there's two stories in this fight. Okay, the first is Buckley. Buckley does not have a ceiling, not yet. If we could have got to a fourth or fifth round, it would have been better in assessing Buckley because he'd never been scheduled for championship rounds. For championship rounds before. He had never done championship rounds. So you always got to question, you just question the guy, whether it's fair or not. There's nothing I have seen from Buckley that makes me believe that he would fade. But it's still a question. And his ceiling is high. It's unknown. His ceiling is unknown. He would be a problem for Rakhmonov. The Rakhmonov that fought 2 weeks ago, tonight's Buckley would have beat him. Buckley would be a problem for Ian Gary. Buckley would be a match for Bilal Muhammad. Does any of that surprise you? Would you like to disagree with any of that? And I bring that to you because we knew going into the fight we're dealing with a very good guy. We weren't overlooking Buckley. I'm just sharing for you, he turned out to be better. He turned out to be more powerful. He turned out to be faster. He turned out to be able to push a little harder in certain situations. Smart guy, too. Colby coming in for takedowns, but Buckley knew. Every time Colby was thinking takedowns, somehow Buckley knew. I would love if these two make up. Sometimes you do that after you fight. You shake hands and maybe even help one another. I would love if Buckley would call me or tell me, because before Colby shot, every time Buckley knew. And Buckley defended it the same way every time, which is he backed up so the fence is there, and that makes it wildly difficult to score. And I just want to know how he knew. What was the tell? So I got to keep reminding myself, I'm making you guys this video. I'm high. I'm in great spirits. That is not how I feel after a competition that doesn't go our way. But I have to keep reminding myself that Colby came in second, because it didn't feel like that. The tide of that match was turning, and Colby did have a few things to prove to everybody, including himself. The performance that Colby had against Leon, right? If you're going to look at somebody's career and you're going to judge it on a bell curve, you're going to throw that fight out. It was the worst Colby has ever looked. But the question comes in, oh, well, Colby's 36 years old. Is just how he looks now. That would make a lot of sense. But he also had a broken foot. So how much of that played in? And it was a very big deal in Colby versus Leon for Colby stopping the wrestling. You've got to have your foot. You plant your foot, you drive, your hips, and all this stuff. It all comes from your foot. Is that why he went down? I don't want to take that away from Leon. That's fair play. But when I talk about Colby had questions that needed to be answered, it turns out he is dog tough. They love to say the last thing to go is your power. Now, that is not true. They that say that are dum-dums, but that's the fight community, and the fight community says the last thing to go is your power. But the first thing to go is your grit. How bad do I want it? You ask yourself subconsciously that within 30 seconds of a fight. Within 30 seconds, you're already thinking, right? When your clock and your time has expired, you're already thinking, do I want to be in here? And there was nothing in that fight. Colby looked so dog tough. Buckley did too. Colby was getting hit on his feet with everything you could do. I mean, he's busted open so bad, the doctor has to look at it 3 times. Twice, he stops the action to let it keep going. The 3rd time, he said, man, we can't go anymore. I was going to stop that fight. I already grabbed the towel. When the doctor came in for the 3rd time, and I'm watching that blood, it's not stopping. And it is going into the eye. And that's the only thing you're really looking for. When we as fight fans, we as tough guys, think the doctor should have stopped it. We're talking about, it doesn't really matter how bad the cut is from our perspective, as long as it's not going in the eye. If it's blinding a guy, it doesn't matter if it's a little or a lot. If it's in his eye and he can no longer see out of that eye, it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. If this much blood is stopping you from seeing, a flood of blood still stops you from seeing. And this was bad, and this was in the eye. And I stood up so I could see what the doctor was doing. I told Charlie, the number 2, I said, hand me that towel. I'm stopping this. So I bring that to you because the referee was taking some criticism. Well, let me be fair here. I saw what they saw. Okay? So I'm just going to set that aside. But at no point in all those punches that Colby took, and there was a body shot, you could hear it throughout the building, boom, he took a shot to the body, Buckley just swung wildly, took that big fist with all that big power, he's got, boom, hit him in the body. There was nowhere Colby even winced. There was nowhere that he flinched. There was never a time that he stepped backwards. There was not a time that he went down, and I offer you that because there was a time when he went down, but it wasn't from a punch. There was a punch as he slipped as he went down. I'm just bringing that to you like there was, when you look at the grit meter, this was one of Colby's best fights. When you look at the digging deep, this does not replace the fight with Kamaru Usman, but god damn, it's right there. When you look at grit, and you look at the shots that he took, you look at the damage that they did, and he did not care. There was times he was on bottom, and Colby and I had a deal. And one thing about Colby, his word is good. So I made him say it. I made him say, do we have a deal? And all the deal was, is that mat is to be looked at like it's lava. And if your back hits it, it'll burn your back. We are not going to be on bottom. And every time he ended up in that position, he scrambled and came up. He scrambled. And then you want to gain elevation in a scramble. Anytime you're scrambling, you want your head higher than your opponents. You got to gain elevation. He did a leg pass. I mean, it looked like Ben Askren rolling between the legs, coming up, push the ankles down, turn and face him. It was awesome. Everything about that fight was awesome. And where does Colby go from here? I mean, it's such an interesting question. He is pulled in so many different directions. There are so many people that want in on the Colby business. And he's focused and he's disciplined. Even when he knows he's committed and has to do some other things, he's focused and disciplined. He gets that workout in. He keeps these people at an arm's reach. He keeps his relationship. He keeps his bubble small. But he doesn't have to do that forever. I mean, at some point, and I met a lot of his friends, they were really good people. And they've got really good ideas and things that they would like him to come participate. I mean, he doesn't owe us or himself forever. It was a great fight. I was very proud of him. I thought that Buckley looked awesome. I don't know where that was going to go. I think we were down both rounds going to the 3rd, I think. But then I was told that one of the judges had it 1-1. And I'm not here to relive that. I just felt like the tide was turning, and Buckley was a real sport about that. And he said, hey, I was fading a little bit. And that's important that Buckley understands that, because Buckley did nothing wrong. He just has to learn how to extend, right? If he's going to be fighting like this, and he's going to do such a good job in the media, he's going to be headlining events. So that means he's going to be in the 5-round club. And it's good for Buckley to know where that energy goes. I feel like both guys got better tonight, but if I'm looking at it from one perspective, which is not the outcome, I can't even count it, guys. I just can't. I mean, we went in there, we know the rules of the sport, and I swear to goodness we'd forgotten. There was knockout, submission, and a referee's decision. That's it. And we had a plan to deal with all 3. A knockout was not going to happen. A submission was not going to happen. Could it go to a referee's decision? Sure. What would have they said? Well, 12 more minutes and we would have found out. I can't count a doctor stoppage. I thought they both looked great. That is simply what happened.